Hey, Carolyn, Jacob, Hang, Ming Kong, Haley, Alejandra, and Ziong. This is Ryan. I'm just making a quick video for you in case there's any confusion because I've already gotten a few emails with questions. But I'm opening up a very easy file just as an example. So if you have the file open in Photoshop, you go to Window, Timeline if it's not visible. I also have my layers open over here, Window, Layers, just in case you don't have that. Here, I know you guys are all used to Photoshop. Some of you don't know the timeline so well, but all your essentially frames are layers. All we're used to working with layers. They're just put sequentially like frames. So I've given a color guide with the swatches. You have the line work here, grayed out, and then you have the color layer. And this is where I've tried to provide a lot of frames already for you. So for this one, here, we have the little scrubber to move through the timeline. That's the play button, self-explanatory. I'll select the frame that I want to paint, grab the eyedropper, grab it, and paint away. I've got questions about the paint bucket tool. We're not using the paint bucket tool because we're adhering to the sort of sketchy hand-drawn style that Photoshop provides. So none of our lines are really closed. So we need to actually paint by hand with the brush tool, and that's why we need all your guys' help and why we really appreciate it. Because you can see here, these aren't vector shapes. There's no closing. If I actually just went and tried to paint bucket the lines, it fills the entire frame, and it's extra laborious. It's slower, and I think it looks worse to actually go through and seal everything than it is to just go in and paint the frames. So here you can see this is a hold this whole time. So that's why this frame, you can click and drag. I've tried to set it up that way. You only need to paint that one time. If this head barely moves for this next shot, so that if you didn't want to have to repaint this whole thing by scratch like that, you can always right click and duplicate the layer, or you could click and drag and you can duplicate the layer and shrink it down to the correct length and erase the differences if you want to save time that way. It's really up to you and how you want to work. And here at the end, I tried to indicate that these are just two frames on the loop after this. So here, if you paint this one and this one, you can see it's these same two drawings repeating for the rest of the timeline. So you can just grab these two layers and duplicate, and this scene would be finished. After that, you just save it out. It should be good. Let me know if you guys have any more trouble, and or if this was unclear, and I'll try and clear it up even more. Thank you.